Yeah, this is on. I haven't done a live stream for quite a while. Okay, topic of the subject, uh, masturbating, masturbation, and when you have a delusional disorder, an alleged delusional disorder, because obviously when you targeted individuals, you know to consider everything before you concede that you've got a delusional disorder. So you have to know that things in real life are like this and they're like that. Conspiracies do happen in real life. Sometimes you might be in community, yeah, hey Donna. Sometimes you might be in communities where people do not want you to engage in sexual relations, and that will be a cultural and community targeting. And sometimes it might be the system or it might be the gangster community. Yeah, but either way, you find yourself as a targeted individual not allowed to express yourself sexually. Yeah. And the way this manifests, and you have to be aware of it, is that your consciousness starts to do things with you. And the wet dream is one of the consequences of this. Yeah. So if you don't ejaculate for a long time, um, you will unconsciously um, start to initiate processes that will bring about the wet dream. Yeah, this is a natural process that every man goes through, not because we're targeted, but because our bodies need to ejaculate as men. So you have to put that aside when deciding whether it's targeting or some other cause. If it's a natural cause, you put it aside. But sometimes you notice that it's more than that. It's more than just a natural cause. Yeah. And when you reach this situation where you can say, right, um, it's not my body that is causing me to have these random erections. Yeah. It must be something else that's causing these random erections. What could it be? Yeah. When you reach a point and you've eliminated the possible causes, including your body's, natural processes, and you're still left with random erections that are coming from nowhere, then you got to start considering whether there might be a conspiracy to cause them. Of course, that is logical, but they will say that you're delusional for considering that to be anything other than the body's natural processes. Yeah. So to eliminate the possibility that it could be the body's natural processes, yeah, you masturbate. Yeah. The only situations where people find themselves um, having to masturbate is when they're in prison. Yeah. When they're in a long-term war and they're on the front line, and well, you know, it's like that. So, and the third way now is when they targeted individuals. You see what I mean? So we're like prisoners or soldiers. But that's funny. You're not in a cell, so that eliminates prisoner. So you must be a soldier, but a soldier for what? A soldier for yourself. All right. So this is a spiritual war, and it's like um, we will be denied the need to. We'll be denied the right to express ourselves sexually, because that's part of the plan as well. Because what happens to your body, the science is inconclusive. It's inconclusive for many reasons. It's inconclusive because statistical analysis is so subjective that it's as simple as asking a different question about the same situation. Yeah. It's like if I ask you, why is this phone, why is this phone blue? Yeah. And then you start investigating phones, and your only concern was the color blue. Yeah. And then I can come along, somebody else can come along and says, why does this phone have a screen? So then you say, I was investigating phones and I found that they have screens. So you're looking at mobile phone data, and you can't just say, what do people know about phones? Yeah, there could just be people who know about phones having blue color, people who know about phones having a screen. So basically, there's no scientific evidence to prove that not ejaculating properly leads to prostate cancer, but that's because no one's ever asked it. No one's ever asked that question. Yeah, they see other causes of prostate cancer, and they never asked, for one reason or another, maybe political pressure, religious pressure, sectarian pressure, or whatever. They are discouraged from asking questions that will reveal that. Yeah, that's why clergymen and priests, men of the cloth, die. It's inappropriate, and you're discouraged from asking them why. Yeah, because we know, if using our common sense and the wisdom that the Almighty gave us, that if you do not ejaculate for a long time, it's going to clog up your pipe works and you're going to catch prostate cancer. So, but because the best data or information about this would have come from studying clergymen, but those are people who are revered. How can you ask a clergyman how he died? So we're discouraged from carrying out the proper scientific studies that would have proven that there's a correlation between not ejaculating and prostate cancer. But there is, because if you're being targeted as a targeted individual, the reason why they don't want you to ejaculate, yeah, is because if you don't ejaculate for a long time, it will clog up your pipes and you'll catch prostate cancer. So if you're in a situation where the community doesn't want you to engage in sexual relations, whatever they are, yeah, it means that they do not want you ejaculating, so you masturbate. Now, if they come and interfere with your masturbation, you see they're obsessed with making sure you stop ejaculating. So you have to start looking at your masturbation in a different way. Now, remember, you've got an alleged delusional disorder. Now, these labels are not as useless as you think, because if you're coming off as being delusional, then you're not going to be thinking about being delusional. You're the subject matter. So if they've seen that, it means that you're someone whose beliefs are mismatched with theirs. You don't meet eye to eye. Yeah. So that means to you, should mean to you, that sometimes you've seen things that they haven't seen. That's why they don't meet eye to eye with you. Yeah. Sometimes they don't know, or they can't imagine something and you've seen it. Yeah. But it's a matter of articulating it so that they can understand. Yeah. So we might have seen that there's a correlation between not ejaculating and catching prostate cancer, and they haven't seen it for one reason or another. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that there is no correlation, and you don't have the means to carry out the scientific study to prove it, and they just won't go there. Yeah. Because of some peer pressure and bullying. So you know that that's the case. So basically, and you know that they also know that, but that's the truth that they don't want to come out. Yeah. So they could be victimizing you because they know that, and they want to give you prostate cancer by stopping you from doing what you need to do. Yeah. If they are either doing it deliberately or accidentally, at the end of the day, you got to ejaculate. A prisoner knows this. Somebody who's in a long-time war knows this. Yeah. Because those are the people who normally masturbate because for obvious reasons. Now, having figured out that you're targeted, you're not going to be allowed to be with anyone. Yeah. Your body is going to want to ejaculate. It's going to say, look, man, if you either do it or I do it. So then you have a wet dream. Yeah. Which is very messy. I'd rather be in control of the situation instead of having to wash my sheets all the time. Now, you see, I'm somebody who's raw, so it's humiliating to talk about these subjects, but I don't care. I don't give a fuck about going into that. Yeah. It's a purely natural process. So anyway, when you realize that they want you to over ejaculate, that could also be a danger. Yeah. If you overwork the pipes, they will fail and you get erectile problems. Yeah. So this is why they will be targeting you to give you random erections. Now, you know that there are certain electric impulses that can trigger off different organs in your body. By now, you would have researched it, and theoretically, it does make sense. Now, if they could figure out, because they have us in sleep centers, giving them all this knowledge they have about how to do this to us comes from us, the people. I even done a scientific study. They'll give you an advert in the paper or online. When I was doing it, it was in paper, online, saying volunteers needed for a scientific study to study the effects of dreams on consciousness. And you apply to go there, but the information they get from you, that's how they know what these frequencies are. Yeah, they done studies, and you can look them up. Yeah, so they know how to make you feel aroused. Yeah, and they know how to control that. They know what type of stimulation or what type of brain activity, what type of profile they're looking to see in your brain activity, and how to achieve that profile. Yeah, so chances are, if they had direct energy weapons, they can make you do that, because they've got all the components needed to know how to give you a random erection. Yeah, so if they are doing that, then it might be they pushing it the other way. They want you to overuse it so that it breaks down. Yeah, so you, either way, you have a need to control how much you ejaculate. Yeah. Now, obviously, now let's say you're targeted, and every woman they see you with, they turn it into something nasty, and she ends up switching and flipping on you. Yeah, so you say, oh, be a man. You be a man, you fuck her, she G's you up, you end up inside, you have to masturbate anyway, because now you're inside, you're in a jail, and you so you're gonna masturbate. It's about choosing where to masturbate. If you want to be like, I got to be a man, I got to go out there and I'll force a woman to fuck me, you end up in jail, and you'll be masturbating anyway. Yeah, so you know you're going to be doing that if they choose to victimize you like that. Now, my point is, you have to also, maybe it's because I'm delusional, but that could also mean that I noticed something you haven't. So you have to also be mindful about who you imagine when you are masturbating, because that might become a political issue as well. Yeah, so you try basically, it's as simple as this. Yeah, you try not to masturbate to people you won't get. Yeah, there's no point masturbating to people who I like reality porn, to be honest, like people who are my level, and I can imagine myself in that situation, but those are my tastes. I would never masturbate to this high production porn where people look like they're way out of my league, and I'll never even dream about getting that. So you try to promote the people that are more likely to be responding to you. So yeah, and those are people in your social class. Yeah. So otherwise, every time you masturbate to someone that they know you're not gonna get, they're all right with that. But when you masturbate to someone where it's possible for you to get, it could be another somebody that they're victimizing, someone else that they're victimizing. Yeah, and they won't want people in the lower classes to rise up or to get some kind of blessing, because like if you want to someone, that's a blessing. All right, so they want to keep the blessings for themselves, so that's why I don't really want to those. And you find that sometimes they can, if you've got the reverse, yeah, if they're trying to switch off your ejaculation rather than trying to switch it to overuse it, yeah, because I flip from side to side. Yeah, sometimes if I'm not ejaculating enough, I force myself to, and if I'm doing it too much, I stop myself from doing it. So I get the direct weapon attack when I start doing it too much. Yeah, that's what causes it to become much of a problem. Then I have to do what I'm telling you now, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's another thing. You have to be careful about who you want to. They might be greedy for their for their blessings. No, so you got to think along those terms. If you got delusional disorders, you got to have like a play in your mind, and give every emotion a character, if you like. I like to consider my emotions as man. Yeah, man like fear. Yeah, man like anger, because those are different looks that I give. Yeah, so those are different man. Yeah, but when you have man like arousal, yeah, man like that, um arousal, yeah, that's man that you like, you want to keep tabs on. You want to keep tabs on, yeah. um because if you're being targeted, you could be a victim of all different kind of setups when you're man like arousal, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah. So when it gets too much, yeah, they can start making it worse so that they can fuck you up that way. When it gets too little, they can start making it lower so that you stop ejaculating and you get medical problems. Remember, their hierarchy of needs. They want you dead. If not, they want you sick. If not, they want you to go insane. if the, if yeah. So it's like if they can't kill you, they'll try and make you unwell. Yeah. So they'll prefer it if you had an overactive libido, and they'll encourage that. But if you resist, yeah, they'll stop for a bit and then concentrate on reducing your libido to nothing, because now they've stopped going for, because if you overreact, if you got an overactive libido, yeah, you might end up fucking something that you shouldn't fuck, but and then you have the comebacks which are easy to explain. Yeah, so they antagonize you to make it possible for someone else to do you. Yeah, and if that doesn't work, this is someone who's trying to keep their hands clean as to target you. If that doesn't work, then he's going to try and sabotage you by making you not do something that will lead to you having a health problem. Yeah, if that doesn't work, then if you've managed to fight off those two, you're going to start being delusional. Yeah, because one of the effects of not ejaculating, you can read it up, is that it messes up your thought processes. It makes you depressed, anxious, and so you're going to start having those issues if you don't ejaculate. Yeah, and that depression will lead to anxiety, and that's where the mental disorder comes from. So that's why when you go to a psychiatrist, the first question he asks you is, when did you fuck? But he doesn't ask it like that. He says, are you currently in a relationship? Yeah, because they know that if you don't fuck, you're gonna go insane. Yeah, so you have to control how many times you ejaculate. Yeah, if you have a woman who doesn't fuck, they've given you someone who's trying to give you prostate cancer, and you die from that. Yeah, you have her, and she'll be giving you the taste, but telling you I can't fuck you, and if you touch me, I'm gonna cry rape. That's a woman that's fooling around with your health, because you as a man, if you don't, you either end up getting killed by someone because of your overactive libido or going insane. Yeah. So there is the choices are not good. You might go to masturbate if you can't, if you're in a situation where you really can't. Yeah. All right. So if you're in that situation, that's normally when you're stuck in a cell, um, a prisoner, or you're stuck in a bunker, like a soldier. That's when you really can't. So if it looks like that for you out there in real life, that it looks like you're at war, yeah, then you have to make that choice. But that's how you deal with this direct energy attack. You will spot it when it gets too much. Yeah, you design yourself a structure and you keep to that. And when you stray from that, then you're either doing it too little or too much, and you control yourself. When I notice this direct energy targeting, yeah, I only notice it half of the time. So I know it does happen. They do stimulate your private parts. Yeah, they do stimulate it. But remember, they're not the only ones who stimulate it, so you get confused. Yeah, sometimes it's your body needing you to do it, and sometimes it's direct energy weapons. Yeah, all right. So the best way to listen to your body is to make sure you don't do it too much, because in that case, it's the body that's trying to raise it up. Because if you're doing it too much, they'll be pushing it more. Yeah. And if you're not doing it too much, they'll be trying to lock it off. Yeah. So you always have to be listening to your body. But the thing is, if you do that too much, your mind will go off. So you got to flip from side to side and just have a narrow range. Yeah. So I have to be mindful of the direct energy weapons. Yeah. When I'm actually handling that part, that aspect of my life. Yeah. So that's why I wanted TIs to actually help me in terms of identifying any publications that would have actually related to that subject of them being able to stimulate us remotely. Yeah. We're talking about all the components that you need to be able to do that are there, but what type of publications would you find this knowledge in? I mean, I've already looked, and then I deduced and emerged a theory that by now, I mean, most of the technology we have is stuff that they used in their system like 10 years back. So if they carried on at that trajectory, by now they'll be able to do that and won't know about it for 10 years, or when the Official Secrets Act is expired on that. Yeah. So whatever they discover, they could get to use it on us and won't find out for 20 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when it comes to those direct energy weapons, yeah, it's the DEWs alone are not enough to explain explain what you would experience, yeah, when you're targeted individual that needs to fuck. So you also have to say to yourself, what you're imagining in your mind also has to be controlled. Yeah. I like to imagine things that I'm forbidden to imagine, so that I can get a reaction to remind me, yeah, that I still need to find out how they can see what I'm imagining, yeah, as I imagined it. There's no way, unless they connect something to you and feeling, there's no way you can see it as you imagined it. Yeah. There's no way you can see whose face I'm imagining in my head. Most you'll see is a silhouette with the technology they've got right now, and then they'll have to fill in the gaps. There's no way you can see the face I'm imagining in my head. But if you imagine a face that they don't want you to do, yeah, and they react to it, this is a constant reminder that there's also that spiritual side of the targeting. Yeah. My theory, at the moment, it's a delusional one, is that people can actually see my imagination, yeah, as it happened, yeah, but not, without the aid of direct energy weapons. But this is mind to mind communication. Yeah, they can actually see it as it happened with their minds, not through some machine, with their minds. And that's a spiritual way of seeing. Yeah. So if they can see what's enclosed in my mind with their mind, yeah, I hear people's third eyes is opened up. Yeah, but that's a spiritual way of seeing, and they're applying that. So when I do try to control the results from that kind of targeting, where they're stimulating your private parts, I bear in mind, yeah, that if I can neutralize the effects of the direct energy weapon, yeah, by positively reinforcing my objectives, yeah, I also have to neutralize the effects of the mind to mind monitoring. Yeah, that's also an effect, a cause, yeah, that I'll have to neutralize as well. Yeah. So it's not just about fighting the direct energy weapon when you're trying to reprogram your mind to be in the right place. Yeah. It's not just about, you have to consider those. Yeah. But the demonic activity, a demon, yeah, is anyone who's not you. yeah, that's in your mind. Yeah, the Most High is different. The Most High behaves different, yeah, from what a demon does. Yeah. So another way of triggering your private parts is for someone who's seeing your imagination as it happened, yeah, then planning what to do now that they've seen that, yeah, and then next time they start seeing it, they start to feel, yeah, at the same time as it's seeing it, because it's an independent consciousness, he starts to feel, yeah, in such a way, yeah, as to arouse you, yeah, or as to put you off doing it, yeah. That process is so similar to how your body program, how your unconscious programs you, yeah, that does happen, um, that you could get it confused, yeah. That's when somebody can start, every time he's seeing into your mind as you're looking at a woman, yeah, he can start to make himself feel like, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want, yeah. If you think that that's you that's doing it, check again, because he can change your sexuality from just doing that. So what I normally do, is you accept your sexuality. I'm heterosexual, yeah, and you program yourself, whatever information that you get from the feelings of others as they are seeing your consciousness as it happens, you must deal with those too, yeah. That's information in the form of feeling, yeah, that you have to treat as information. Maybe it's because I'm an empath, I don't know, but that's information in the form of feelings. There's information that comes for you in the form of street theater, and you deduced information, a play, that they want. There's that information, and then there's the information that comes from feeling being projected into you, yeah. Now feeling being projected into you can be done from mind to mind or direct energy weapons. They can zap you with something that can make you feel a certain way, yeah. But they will need to know what you're thinking as you thought it, yeah. So it will be a demonic power that's working in conjunction with his direct energy weapons, yeah. Once he sees what you're thinking and you're thinking about this woman, he tells them to switch on something to make you feel a certain way, yeah. And they can change your tastes, your preferences, your sexuality. They can change everything, yeah. So you need to choose your sexuality, whether it's a hetero or homo or other, whatever. You need to choose, make that choice first of all, and make sure it doesn't change, because your natural voice is now being imitated. You see, your natural voice is now being imitated by these direct energy weapons. Yeah, so you might mistake that weapon there from a natural voice, and your natural voice is now, it's been imitated in two different ways: direct energy weapons, or by other people who, if you're not listening carefully to your feelings, yeah, will make you believe that it's you that is originating those feelings. All right. So when you are masturbating, whether you're a prisoner, um, a soldier on front line, or a spiritual soldier like myself, yeah, you have to do it with a bit of intelligence and know a bit more about men's health. Yeah, you can read research, but make sure you get all sides of the coin. You know, you get research that's against something, research for something. So if you go and research something, you must look at what's pro and against. Yeah, you can't just look at what's for it and make up your decisions there. You look at what's against it too, and then you weigh it up and you make the decision. Yeah, once you've chosen a plan on how to deal with that aspect of your male health, yeah, you have to be aware of direct energy weapons and also demonic attacks and also your natural voice. Yeah, there's your social voice, there's your natural voice. Yeah, so these are two different things. Yeah, your social voice that comes in the vote and other civil rights that you have. Yeah, but your natural voice, that's another thing, isn't it? I've gone on for too long. But anyway, that's the subject matter for today. And yeah, think about that and just know that it's a spiritual war for me, and I'm going through that. So I know this situation will be happening right now. And it's just life, and you got to deal with it, but you got to have all the information at hand. Yeah, before you can make the right decision on how to proceed with that. Yeah, but I do understand that there's artificial stimulation of our private parts, but we still need to understand that masturbation is something that can stop you from actually having psychological problems that will lead to the delusional disorders that you have. Yeah, so be careful out there all the time.